This is a story of the ages. A group of cheerleaders work together so they can raise enough money so their friend Debbie Benton can go to Texas and try out for the Texas Cowgirls cheerleading squad. Seems basic enough. However, behind the scenes, Debbie Does Dallas is a movie surrounded in controversy due to its adult material subject matter, as well as court cases, legal issues, arrests, the movie being shut down, supposed ties to the mafia, Siskel and Ebert's dog Spot, and above all, the strange disappearance of the movie's main star, Bambi Woods. So today we're going to explore this truly insane chapter in pop culture. Not to review or to talk about the movie itself or its contents, but rather the real-life crazy that spawned in its wake. The bizarre real-life events that make you ask, Debbie Does Dallas, but at what cost?
And I approve this message.
Yeehaw! Howdy, partners! The other day on social media, I posted a picture of the Debbie Does Dallas movie poster and jokingly said I should make an episode on that, you know, ha ha ha, wouldn't that be funny? But then some guy called Andrew D. Nichols replied, I triple dog dare you. Darn it! Everyone knows there is no avoiding the legal clause, that is the triple dog dare. However, believe it or not, I've actually never seen Debbie Does Dallas before. But upon doing some research, I found out some truly nuts information surrounding this movie, which itself has lots of nuts. So today, as a once-off, we're going to respectfully and tastefully explore some insane, bizarre realities that surround Debbie Does Dallas. And while we explore this, I'm not going to show anything or say anything that's going to upset YouTube. So, I'll be a-hitching like a hound, so let's check it out. Number 10. A movie about Dallas which doesn't have any Dallas. Despite its connection to Dallas, Texas, and the fact that, well, Dallas is in the title, none of the movie was actually filmed there. Instead, Debbie Does Dallas was filmed entirely in New York. Now, there have been persistent rumors that some scenes were even filmed at the State University of New York, but many have claimed that these rumors were false, including the movie's distributors. There's also another persistent urban legend that may or may not be true, that Debbie Does Dallas has ties to the mafia, as the producer of the movie himself had ties to a crime family. According to the Sydney Morning Herald, Debbie Does Dallas was actually funded by powerful mafia crime boss Michael Safanaro. Number 9. Legal cheerleader issues. Okay, so in the movie itself, the cheerleading team is fictional, referred to as the Texas Cowgirls. This was obviously done to avoid legal issues with real-life Texas cheerleading team, Dallas Cowgirls Cheerleaders. However, that didn't stop the powers that be behind the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders to call out foul, and felt the fictional cheerleaders in Debbie Does Dallas was a blatant rip-off of their organization, particularly in regards to mimicking their uniforms, and worse yet, using them on the poster and main advertising of the movie. And as it happens, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders were really not happy being parodied in this adult entertainment film, and went as far as to claim this being an infringement on their trademark. So the big question was, what were the Dallas, Texas cheerleaders going to do about it? Number 8, the movie was shut down. Debbie Does Dallas was released at the Pussycat Theatre in New York City in late 1978. Meanwhile, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders had been on a crusade to shut the movie down, and it seemed that they were successful, where a court found the Pussycat Theatre was liable for trademark infringement due to the fictional cheerleader team in the movie. But the Pussycat Theatre still screened the movie anyway, to which the police turned up, and apparently even the FBI got involved. This event even made it into the news, when a screening of Debbie Does Dallas was shut down, as the Pussycat Theatre refused to obey to court orders, which resulted in a police raid and the entire technical staff of the theatre getting arrested. Yeah, people were literally getting arrested over this movie.
Well, Debbie Does Dallas will not be shown tonight because of technical difficulties. It seems that the entire technical staff of the theater has been arrested.
However, many people were also critical of this, feeling like it went against free speech. Number 7. Ruled not obscene. So if the trademark infringements weren't bad enough, the legal issues involving Debbie Does Dallas weren't over yet, as the movie was part of another lawsuit, this time being a court case known as New York, United States versus various articles of obscene merchandise, which took place in 1983. Funny enough, in the final ruling, the court found that Debbie Does Dallas actually wasn't obscene. Now, it may be naughty adult material, but not obscene. So the movie did win a victory there. And despite its issues with trademark infringements and obscenity laws, Debbie Does Dallas was able to get a VHS release. But more on that later. Number 6. Roger Ebert actually found the movie boring. The idea of Roger Ebert sitting in a movie theatre watching Debbie Does Dallas may seem hilarious, but that's exactly what happened. And he even reviewed it too. Yeah, look at him go. That's right, Debbie Does Dallas featured on Siskel and Ebert's At the Movies review show, where, all things considering, Ebert actually found the movie really boring.
And believe me, copyright is the least of the things that are infringed on in this movie. The movie is so boring and repetitive.
To be fair though, both Siskel and Ebert do seem more jovial in this review, with Siskel adding that he actually found Debbie to be kind of cute. I think the dog they had sitting with them was more excited about the movie than they were.
Well, enough of that.
Hi, Spot, thanks for barking after I was talking about that last movie. And
So, if you're wondering if Roger Ebert ever did a review on Debbie Does Dallas, the answer is yes, and here it is. And of course it was a thumbs down, but I think it was a thumbs up from the dog, or paws up, I don't know how that works. Number 5, Debbie Does VHS. Debbie Does Dallas had one advantage going for it, and that being it was released just when the dawn of home video was about to take off, namely the VHS age. And boy did this movie pass with flying colours. It initially sold 50,000 copies, making it the most profitable adult video release of its time, and it often gets heralded as one of the most important releases of the type of movie it is. So it seems that legal issues may have tried to shut the movie down. It didn't stop people racing out to buy a copy. Heck, I bet Siskel and Ebert's dog even bought a few copies and stashed them in his kennel. Number 4. Debbie also does public domain. And yes, you guessed it, the legal issues aren't over yet, as Debbie Does Dallas would become public domain in terms of copyright, meaning the movie doesn't have any copyright holders and belongs to and is available to the public. So how did such a profitable piece of media become a legal free-for-all? Well, because when it was first released in 1978, it was done so without a copyright notice. The company that distributed the movie in home media, VCX, tried to solve this problem by registering Debbie Does Dallas with the United States Copyright Office, and also adding a copyright notice to the video releases of the movie. But the damage was already done. Due to the fact the original theatrical prints of Debbie Does Dallas didn't have a copyright notice, the only way to fix the issue was to track down every single print of the movie that was sent to every theatre, and retrospectively add a copyright notice, which was probably a little too difficult. According to Wikipedia, due to the fact that Debbie Does Dallas had no copyright, the video distributor, VCX, stopped making payments to the company that owned Debbie Does Dallas, M&A Associates, but still continued to distribute the movie. This led to a lawsuit in 1987, where a court ruled that Debbie Does Dallas was public domain due to the movie's original distributors not meeting the guidelines of the Copyright Act of 1976. By not initially putting a copyright notice on the film. So Debbie Does Dallas was free to anyone, which I'm sure a lot of people were happy about, including this dog. Number 3, there was a musical. You know you've made it big in the pages of pop cultural history when you get your own musical, and that's exactly what happened with Debbie Does Dallas, as a musical was created in 2002 for the New York International Fringe Festival, and from there would become an off-Broadway show. Although the characters and plot were faithful to the movie, but unlike the movie, it didn't feature any of the characters doing the spicy tango. Instead, when Humpty Dumpty shenanigans are meant to be taking place, musical numbers filled in for those scenes. Where according to Wikipedia, get this, a lot of the audience members were actually disappointed. I guess they thought they were going to see a special show, and they were going to see it all, but they didn't. So, in reality, I guess they thought that this was actually a case of Debbie does nothing. Yeah, I bet many people were disappointed, including this dog. Okay, I swear this is the last time I reference Siskel and Ebert's dog in this episode. Despite this though, the show still performed globally, so it was a big thing. Number 2, Legacy. Without a doubt, Debbie Does Dallas has gone on to be considered one of the most important and recognisable movies of its genre. A trendsetter that paved the way in its style of adult entertainment. In fact, the movie would have quite the impact in pop culture, as it would spawn 12 sequels as well as 4 spin-offs. Yep, technically Debbie Does Dallas had a big cinematic universe long before Marvel. Or in this case, home videoverse, I guess? In fact, when some people think of this industry, for better or worse, the first thing that may pop into their minds is the title, Debbie Does Dallas. So this movie, although part of an often controversial industry, is part of the chapters of pop culture, with very interesting stories surrounding it, of which I think makes exploring the backstory of Debbie Does Dallas to be a fascinating journey, and one that I think is worth talking about. Once again, whether you agree with the industry or not, it is still something that happened, it exists, and it's always interesting learning about the strangest chapters of our big, wide entertainment world. Number 1. Where is Bambi Woods? Okay, so it's here we get to one of the biggest mysteries of Debbie Does Dallas, that being the whereabouts and fate of its main star, Debbie herself, Bambi Woods. In the following years after the release of Debbie Does Dallas, Woods completely disappeared and couldn't be found. Nope, no sign or trace of her, or even any sightings whatsoever. Where in 1986, she was reported as a missing person, with many stories and conspiracy theories circulating as to what happened to her. In fact, the Australian newspaper The Age claimed that she passed away due to an overdose. However, a private investigator who got in on the case, after doing some, investigating, concluded that Woods is alive and well and disappeared from the spotlight in order to lead a normal life, and that the stories of what may or may not have happened to her was just a cover-up. You know, a fabrication so everyone would think she's gone or dead and so she can lead her normal life. I think something that backs this claim up is that in a TV interview before her disappearance, Woods admitted to doing Debbie Does Dallas as a once-off in order to clear up some debt.
It's very funny how I got into it. I owed somebody money, a girlfriend of mine, and she said, listen, you owe me the money, so why don't you just go over and see about doing this film?
And given the story of Debbie Does Dallas about a young woman going to extreme measures to get some cash, almost makes her situation become meta within the movie. And so, yeah, that's actually really quite sad, especially if she didn't want to do this but felt like she had to. And would also explain why she would disappear after making the movie.
I was uncomfortable.
So, in a way, being in the movie was not that strange to you?
No, it still was very strange to me. It was just really weird having all those people watching.
So, where is Bambi Woods now? What is she doing with herself? Who knows? But it's one of the most intriguing mysteries in the underground entertainment industry. But if the stories are true that she's leading a private life out of the spotlight, and that it's simply a case that she wants privacy, well, we all have to respect that. But either way, I wish her nothing but the best in her journey. So that was my exploration into the strange underworld of Debbie Does Dallas, a truly bizarre chapter of pop culture. After all, I like to think of myself as someone who explores all areas of pop culture, even some of the more controversial ones. The good, the bad, and the Debbie. So Debbie Does Dallas may have started as a small adult film about someone with big dreams, but the movie itself would go on to become the stuff of legends. See ya!